morning, and welcome to the Dockside Ceilidh. This is a project sponsored by the Northside Highland Dancers Association and supported by Marine Atlantic, Enterprise Cape Breton, and Nova Scotia Tourism and Culture. To start off our Ceilidh for this morning, I'd like to ask the Northside Highland Dancers to come on for you and perform a traditional Highland dance called the Highland Fling. Thanks, girls. Now I'd like to ask Gaston, Leanne, and Brent O'Coin to come on. They have begun performing together as a family. However, Gaston has been playing at the Dockside Ceilidh for some time. Leanne step dances and is taught by G. McNeil, while Brent fiddles and is taught by Allie Bennett. So please welcome the O'Coin family. Thanks, that was great. Now I'd like the Northside Highland dancers to come back on and perform the sword dance for you. Thanks, girls. That was great. Jennifer Campbell is an 11-year-old step dancer from Bador and has been step dancing for 3 years under the direction of Natasha Rowland. She has performed in Newfoundland and all over Cape Breton area, so please welcome Jennifer. Thanks, Jennifer. Now I'd like the O'Coin family to come back on and perform for you again.
Father left on his own. A lot of people that I know would love to be here watching me, actually listening to me, not speaking. Because I guess it's the only place that I'm relatively quiet with my tongue is on a stage. And they'd love that. Thank you.
Aren't they great?
The International Fisherman's Trophy, Halifax, 1920. In this first race between American and Canadian fishing schooners, the Esperanto out of Gloucester won over the Delawana out of Lunenburg. Determined to win the trophy back, the Canadians hired a Halifax marine architect, William J. Rue. And in March 1921, a schooner was launched from the Smith & Rowland shipyard in Lunenburg. Her name was the Blue Nose. Her skipper was Angus Walters, and together for the next 18 years, they would beat the fastest schooners in Canada and the best American challengers. The Blue Nose was more than just a fast boat. She held the record for the largest catch of fish ever landed in Lunenburg. She represented Canada at Chicago's Century of Progress exhibition in 1933 and at King George's Silver Jubilee in 1935. World War II brought submarine battles to the Atlantic, and the diesel engine was replacing sail. In 1942, despite Angus Walters' frantic efforts to raise money, the Blue Nose was sold to the West Indies Trading Company to haul freight. In January 1946, shorn of mast and sails, laden with bananas and rum, she struck a reef off the coast of Haiti and sank.
Now I'd like to ask the Northside Highland dancers to come back on for you and perform another traditional Highland dance called the Chartreuse. I'd also like to mention that our guest book is circulating, and I hope you all get a chance to sign it. Thanks, girls. Now I'd like to ask the O'Coin family to come back on and perform for you once again. Thanks, that was super. Now I'd like to ask the Highland dancers to come back on and perform a traditional national dance for you called Scottish Lilt. One day, an old man was teaching his grandson to play the chanter until his father returned from the wars. One day, while the lesson was going on, they heard the roaring of a stag, and up in the hills they saw the noble animal leaping and turning its majestic antlers, standing out against the skyline. The old man asked the boy if he could do that, and in the evening, Ronald made an effort to copy the movements of the stag with his hands raised antler-like, springing and turning with feet raised to the knee, one after the other. When his father returned, the boy danced for him to the music, and so it is said the Highland Fling was born. So now I'd like to ask the Northside Highland dancers to come on for you and perform the traditional Highland dance called the Highland Fling. Thanks, girls. Now I'd like to welcome Natasha Rowland on. She's a 17-year-old step dancer and fiddler from Alder Point. She has performed on the TV show Up Home Tonight twice and has performed in Scotland and all over Cape Breton. She is a well-known performer at the Dockside Ceilidh. So please welcome Natasha Rowland. That was Natasha Rowland along with her nephew Cody. Now I'd like to welcome Cyril Lidster. He is originally from Cypress, Newfoundland, and now lives in North Sydney. He has been a fisherman for the past 12 years and enjoys playing traditional music and also writes a few of his own originals. So please welcome Cyril.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We got any Newfoundlanders in the crowd? Hey, right on, right on, right on. Now, buddy, you get back across the aisle and tell mother I said to say hello for her, right? Okay, buddy, okay. Good enough. But for the people that are around here that are not from Newfoundland, we're going to let you in on a little secret about the time. And then hopefully this song here will fill you in, and after you hear it, well, you know what I'm talking about. It's called A Half an Hour Later. Well, a Newfie boy from Stephenville left his native soil. He hitchhiked to Toronto to labor and to toil. Well, he got a job at driving bus, but the people had to stand and wait for half an hour more, 'cause he's from Newfoundland. Half an hour later on an island in the sea, she may be late, but she's still great. She means the world to me. When God designed creation and drew up his master plan, he took half an hour more creating Newfoundland. Well, the mainland doctor in St. John's was leaving on a call, but when he got to where it was, there was no one sick at all. Well, he took a fit, got fighting mad, so I took him by the hand. I said, hold her, doc, now watch that clock, you're in Newfoundland. Half an hour later on an island in the sea, she may be late, but she's still great. She means the world to me. When God designed creation and drew up his master plan, he took half an hour more creating Newfoundland. Well, someone just predicted the judgment day is near, this very night at midnight, and the earth will disappear. Well, the wife looked at me lovingly and she said, now ain't that grand? Sure, we still got a half hour left, 'cause we're in Newfoundland. Half an hour later on an island in the sea, she may be late, but she's still great. She means the world to me. When God designed creation and drew up his master plan, he took half an hour more creating Newfoundland. Yes, he took half an hour more creating Newfoundland. There it is. Thank you very much. I can see you're going to have a good time when you get there anyway. Now, this is for all the men that are heading down Newfoundland. What do you got to watch out for when you get there? See, there's two sides to every story, and this is his side. I'm a hardy old sailor from the Newfoundland shore. 10 years I've been fishing on the wild Labrador. Now the fishing's all over and me work is all done, and I'm going out tonight with me rubber boots on. Well, I ate up me supper and I shaved off me beard. For a night of fine courting I was highly prepared. With the day's work all over and the night coming on, I remember that night with me rubber boots on. Well, I knocked on her door and me knock it was low, and out of her bedroom me knock she did know. She came to the door and said, is that you, Tom? Sure it is, love, said I, with me rubber boots on. Well, she opened the door and invited me in, And up to her bedroom she invited me in. She hopped in the bed with the sheets all rolled on, and I hopped in beside her with me rubber boots on. Well, it'll be daylight next morning, the sun in the sky. Sure, I turned to me true love to kiss her goodbye. She said, don't you leave me, don't you know you done wrong? Sure, you slept here all night with your rubber boots on. Well, I turned to me true love with a wink and a smile. Sure, nothing could happen in such a short while. Whatever I did, love, sure I did it for fun. And I hopped out of bed with me rubber boots on. Well, it'll be 9 months later, I was summoned to court. 10 shillings a week I was fined for me sport. 10 shillings a week from a fisherman's son. I regretted that night with me rubber boots on. Well, now I'm back fishing, sure I'm happy for sure. I'll make that 10 shillings on the wild Labrador. And when he gets bigger, sure I'll bring along me son, and we'll catch the codfish with our rubber boots on. Yes, we'll catch the codfish with our rubber boots on. Here's the rubber boots. So you gets down there and the boy says he wants to buy a pair of boots now for $10.95. You better be careful. You never know where you're going to put you.
In 1720 they sailed to CB in search for coal that outcropped by the sea. They settled the land round Morean Bay. 'Twas here coal mining started, they say. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-addy. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-ay. The immigrants came from far and wide to work in the coal mine side by side. Mates became buddies and brothers to be down in the deeps of old CB. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-addy. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-ay. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-addy. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-ay. When the mine shut down at Morean Bay, they packed up and left to work at Glace Bay. Many mines did they open in this big town. Only number 26 is still to be found. Coal mining spread to many a town. As far as we know, it will always be around. Cape Breton is rich in coal, you see. It all began with that coal by the sea. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-addy. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-ay. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-addy. Musha-doo-doo-wee-ah, sing it fall-doo-wee-ay.
I'd like to sing you a song now from, well, it's a Nova Scotian. It's a fine song it was. I think he wrote it a little bit before his time, because now instead of starting to pay. It's called Make and Break Harbour. Anybody that does any fishing or anything or knows a little bit about it, you'll know what this song is all about. How still lies the bay in the warm western air, rising up from the crimson horizon. Once more we tack home with a dry empty hold, saving gas on the breezes so fair. She's a kindly Cape Islander, oh, but still sound, now lost in the long liner's shadow. Make and break and make do, but the fish are so few, she won't be replaced should she flounder. Now it's hard not to think of before the Great War, when the cod were so cheap yet so plenty. Foreign trawlers roll by now with long seeing eyes, taking all where we seldom take any. In make and break harbor the boats are so few, too many are pulled up and rotten. Most houses stand empty, old nets hung to dry, are blown away, lost and forgotten. I can see the big draggers have stirred up the bay, leaving lobster traps smashed on the bottom. And they think it don't pay to respect the old ways that make and break men have not forgotten. Well, we still set our time to the turn of the tide, with this boat I helped build with me father. With her bow to the sky, this one lunger and I still talk like old friends on the water. In make and break harbor the boats are so few, too many are pulled up and rotten. Most houses stand empty, old nets hung to dry, are blown away, lost and forgotten. In make and break harbor the boats are so few, too many are pulled up and rotten. Most houses stand empty, old nets hung to dry, are blown away, lost and forgotten. Well, I staggered through that one. But that's like a fisherman anyway, you just stagger through what you got.
Now I'd like to welcome on Laurie Sim. He is a very musical individual who plays in concerts and square dances around the area. He has been playing accordion since the age of 7 and also plays piano and guitar. So please welcome Laurie Sim.
Thank you.